Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Candela Obscura, the first part of our mental health awareness fundraiser. So good to see you all. I saw Raven just turned in a pupper treat, so we are going to deliver that right now. Yes, very fancy. Thank you. In fact, it's going to get super fancy up here in just a moment, so I hope you are all prepared for tonight's awesomeness. Real quick, Mental Health Awareness Month is an event that is super. I should have written this down because then I wouldn't forget it. Near and dear to my own heart. I am currently going to school for psychology and therefore obviously have a buy-in for the topic. But going through my own things and having friends and family members who have gone through things, it's one of those things that we do need to be aware of as a society, really, and to embrace the glitches that make us all who we are instead of trying to hide them. So being aware of these things is super important. And this fundraiser is going to be for supporting the Trevor Project. I highly recommend you heading over, and checking that out. I'm going to throw links up in chat. Except for I need to spell it correctly. MFAM. There you go. So, without further ado, we're going to head over and play some Candela Obscura. Need to put my character on here real quick. All right. Hello, everyone. They can see you now, and I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Well, let's do a quick round of introductions, especially since we have new faces here. Let's start. Above me is Ryan. I think Ryan's been on the channel before, but it's been a bit. So, Ryan, tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I like games. I'm playing Dr. Victor Hawthorne. He was once a respected medical doctor and fell into some nefarious organizations, and something of note is he is mute, so I will be writing and presenting to the party that way.
What if we're all illiterate?
Wow, that's rough.
It's going to be a real interesting game. Okay, well, above Ryan is our newcomer to the channel, Dr. Megan Connell. Hello, thank you so much for joining us today for this.
Thank you
Tell
for
us about
having me.
yourself and who you're playing.
Yeah, I am Dr. Megan Connell. I'm a psychologist. I'm the author of Tabletop Role-Playing Therapy, the Guide for the Clinician Game Master. All about how to use tabletop role-playing games like Candela Obscura, Kids on Brooms, Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, in therapy as a medium for teaching therapeutic skills and social skills. I'm also the co-founder of Health Quest Innovative Therapeutics, a whole health practice in Charlotte, North Carolina, and the co-founder of Geeks Like Us, a community-based media service. So like we do cool streams and stuff like that. We're a little bit of a hiatus as we've opened the practice, but still hoping to get back into that soon.
Nice. Very exciting. In fact, the book is so awesome. I read it of my own volition. It wasn't even for class. I just got it and read it, and it is up my alley, so I guess I can't. All right, let's head over to Lauren on the other side of the screen. How's it going, Lauren?
Good.
Excellent.
Was kind of dreading following the psychologist because I feel like I introduced myself and like, hey, you've seen me a couple of times. I do cosplay. Anyways.
Yay! So who are you playing tonight?
Yes, sorry.
No.
Tonight I am playing the magician Saoirse Ward.
Perfect.
Well, I'm playing Emma Astari. I am a medium.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I completely missed that because I was so excited to talk about your book.
To be fair, very cool thing.
Right. Maybe next week I'll do a reading from like a chapter or something.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Book club?
Right, totally. All right, and just below Lauren is Jason. Hello, Jason. How's it going?
Hey, I'm glad I don't have to follow the doctor. I
Either
play
of them.
games as well on here. You guys see me quite often.
And who are you playing tonight?
Yeah, tonight I'll be playing James Hartman, a Donald Knows Luck kind of former soldier. Just trying to figure out things and make his way through life.
Perfect. I am excited to game with all of you this evening. Before we head over to Carly, I want to introduce Ed, who's invisible but is hanging out with my dog, Libby, in this new bed that she has. No, just kidding. Ed is not able to make it tonight, but we miss you, Ed, and can't wait till the next time you get to game with us. And so I have Libby's cam set up so you can all watch what she does with her new bed. And you can make sure that I give treats when you redeem your pupper treat points. And last but not least, Carly, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us where to find you and stuff, and then jump on in.
Yeah, my name's Carly Sykin. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all those things. I play games. I work in the entertainment industry. I make dice. I don't know. I just have a good time. Take photos. So do that.
Does good photos. Can confirm.
Yay! I like photos. Photos are fun. Let me take all your nerdy photos. I've also started playing on a new channel as well, and they do charity streams. So please check out. They're called Hit Points Not Required.
Nice.
They're a new up and coming stream that just started. Yeah. Now we're gonna get into some spooky goodness. Well, we'll find out if our characters are going to survive or not.
And
Likely not, unless you help them.
Right. I guess I should say that will largely depend on you. If you feel like you want to help us out, well, this is a fundraiser, and therefore you can head over to the link that is on the Mental Health Awareness Month thing here. Bit.ly, it's bit.ly/WHMHAM24. Yes, I hear you. You're so sad and sassy. And you can check out the different things that you can buy to help us survive this. Please continue, sorry.
No, it's all good. So we are gonna set the scene. Now this intro scene is not something that your characters witnessed or are part of, but most of the information that will be relayed from this scene is information that you will be given in your handout, in your dossier from Candela when we get to that. Okay. So it's night. Dark. And there's beds spread all around. And there's figures sleeping in these beds. People. Regular people. You can hear their deep breathing as they're sleeping for the night. The room. There's a long room. 12 beds. This sound no, please. You hear some shuffling. Maybe some heavier breathing. And you pan over. You can see a middle-aged woman, normal brown hair, starting to gray at the temple. Her breath started.
Sorry, just so you know, Carly, your audio is cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, there was a thing happening on my computer. I don't know. Was it just now or was it just now?
Yeah, go ahead and keep going. But like
No,
right before I said it,
I don't.
right
I
before I
was
said
missing
it was
quite a
kind of
lot of
cutting
it.
out.
I turned you up to like 200% because I couldn't hear you.
Okay.
Okay, do I need to start over? Because you guys just interrupted my whole monologue. Thank you.
Yes, let's go ahead and I'm just going to turn you up a little bit just to make sure that it's not on my end. Sorry about that. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, okay. Yeah, I'll just start over. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's dark. You're in a long room filled with metal frames, beds. There's figures sleeping in these beds. You can hear the breathing, the deep breathing of them in their sleep. And all of a sudden, you start hearing sound. Drip. 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 You hear some shuffling, some movement. Somebody's breathing starts increasing. Pan over, and you can see a figure. Middle-aged woman, dark brown hair, graying at the temples. She's curled up on her side, and her breathing is quickening. You can see her eyes moving under her closed lids. Drip, drip, drip. She starts to move in her sleep. You can tell that she is gripped by a nightmare. She's trying to escape something. Her heart rate, her breathing increases. And as that breathing increases, drip, 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 you can see peeling off of the wallpaper of the wall behind her head this black, inky darkness. Drip, drip, drip. The woman awakes. Heart rate fast. Her breath catches. Blinky, inky blackness curls around the back of her head, into her mouth. Her eyes roll back and become black. She stands up. A mechanical sort of movement. Something very inhuman about it. And she takes a step to the bed next to her. Drip, drip, drip. She's looming over, leaning down over the top of the figure on the bed. A man this time, young, early 20s, sleeping peacefully. She reaches out a hand, and you can see inky blackness on her fingertips. Her right over the mouth of the man sleeping on the bed. His eyes go wide, and you see the blackness overtake his eyes. And you hear a thump. We look down, and you see the woman on the ground, no longer moving. Trip. Trip. Cycle continues. The man gets up, moves to the bed next to him. Drip, drip, drip. Hand over the mouth. Eyes wide open, black. Body drops. Thump. You can follow this as it moves to every bed in the room until it comes to the last one. At this point, we're in a young woman, 18, 19, long, scraggly blonde hair, dirt across her face, eyes, pure black. She stands over this old man, 50s, 60s, completely salt and pepper hair. And you see her hand, ink on the fingers, go over his mouth. His eyes open. They don't go black. Just a bright blue, looking on in fear. As the woman drops to the ground, not moving. The man sits up in his bed, and now from his point of view, you can see, looking across the room, 11 bodies on the floor, all the beds empty, and he's alone. Which will bring us to your circle of smoke and mirrors being called early morning, messengers going to wherever you were, wherever you stay at night, and you have all been gathered at your chapter house in the Seidel, in the back room of a printer's shop. You guys are all gathered around a small table, and a new lightkeeper, somebody that, one of you has worked with before in the field, but recently had to retire and has now come to be in charge of this chapter house. Lightkeeper Leilani. And she is gathered before you, and she passes out a dossier to each of you that has information listed. Information is scarce at this point. They haven't done any information gathering. This was just given to them. You guys are going to be the first people on site. And she stands before you. So, we have word. Something happened in South Duffet. The bowman. And, everyone's dead. But one. We don't know more. We need people to go investigate. This many people dying over one night without a fire or anything else is very suspicious. I would prefer you to travel there post-haste. If you have any questions beyond, the sole survivor we know is someone named Declan Mann. Older gentleman. We're not sure why he survived when the others died. That will be part of what we wish for you to figure out. Your goal is to discover the cause and hopefully take care of it, prevent it from happening again. You know the deal. You guys have done this several times. Do you have any questions for me before you guys move with post haste?
This place where they were all staying.
You guys would all know that the Bowman is like a homeless shelter within South Soffit. South Soffit is an area, is like one of the poorest areas in the Fairlands. It is underneath the eaves, literally underneath the eaves, which is where many of the rich and old money live. And you would know that the Bowman is like in the middle of South Soffit. So you would know in South Soffit, the lower levels are the better kept levels because it's street level. And the higher you move up, the more dangerous and broken down it gets. And you would know that the Bowman is a homeless shelter that is that rests in the middle levels of South Soffit.
Did
And
we
the fact
each?
that everyone died is pretty egregious.
Did we each get a dossier on this?
Yes, you each got a folder on it.
So mine's like laying spread out before me as I'm listening to her talk, and I look up, and when she said Declan and his last name, I looked down to try and catch his name, and I realized that there was a soggy book now laying on top of my dossier, which I sigh, scooted out of the way, and try to not smear the ink as I'm looking for the other names and if whether or not any of these are familiar to me or anyone.
You look over the other names, and none of them stick out as people you know. You don't know Declan either. While you guys have visited South Soffit and various things, most of you are situated in the Seidel, which is where your chapter house is based. It's the middle class area of the Fairlands of New Fair. So none of these names directly speak out to you, but as you look over the list of names, at least the ones that they know, it is a homeless shelter, so
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that like they're all tracked, but it's just weird. It's just there's a large variety of ages, races, sex. Like there doesn't seem to be any common ground. It was just everyone but this one older man died. You would know that there is a sense of urgency to responding to this call, as there are other divisions like OUP and things like that that may try to take control of the situation in a way that Candela does not necessarily approve of.
I think Saoirse kind of like close her dossier and look up at Leilani like, 2 questions. First, did the survivor have any description, anything, any information about what might have been in there?
That is what we want you. Nobody's spoken with him. We just had heard of this incident, and you are the first responders, as we would say. There's not really much information beyond everybody died but this guy.
Poor sucker. Well, do we know who else has got wind of this, or who can we expect
well,
to
I
maybe run
mean,
into?
I mean, if we've heard of it, there's bound to be OUP on the way, which you would know is a division of the periphery, which is the police force that deals with keeping magic and bleed hidden from the populace, pretty much at any means necessary, which means that sometimes Candela will work with them, but also oftentimes their methods go beyond what Candela views as appropriate.
All right. Well,
Jason,
Looks
you're
like we have-
muted.
Is this Declan still on site, or have you squirreled him away somewhere?
No, he's still there. Like we said, we just got a report through our established, like, rumor mill. You know, we have various people that are set about town looking for and listening for things that might be thinnings or indications of bleed. And nobody's been there. As far as we know, he's still there. Likely reported what happened to the periphery, which is why we would wish for you to get there.
So you left him in the
First.
room with all of the dead people.
No, I have not been there. I was just told of this information, and I am tasking you to go check it out.
should
Essentially,
hurry.
somebody heard something, they told me, and I am telling you to go find
Right.
out what happened.
I can't imagine he'll stay there.
Yeah,
hence
I'll bring
why we
extra
should hurry.
candy.
I'll pick up a leather book bag, stuff the dossier in it, grab a couple other things, stick the soggy book in there, sigh, and follow everyone else out.
Everything all right, Q?
Oh, yes, I just, the water was causing my ink to run. Tried to leave Bass in the river this morning. Didn't work again.
That's what attempt number... Actually, I'm not even going to try to count. I've lost track.
I've actually lost track too. It's up there though. Yes,
We could try burning it again.
we could probably after it dries out.
Fair. Anyway.
Oh crap.
The background's not going to work with the whiteboard.
Oh no.
No, oh, no.
I was like, did he write something?
Right?
I was like, been watching him the whole time because
I
I don't
know.
want to miss it.
Whenever
As
his
we're
background
heading
turns
out,
into
I'm
his
going to-
face. Right.
Hand James, like, just kind of hand him a candy as we're walking out.
Oh, thanks. My stomach's still a bit upset. Just got up, so I'll have it later.
Yeah, it's easy enough to hitch a ride on a trolley and make your way towards South Soffit. It's not too far. You don't even have to cross the river to get to South Soffit from where you are. It doesn't like white. I think I saw some letters. I saw some letters. Yeah, and you guys can hop the trolley and make your way down to the Bowman. How do you guys wish to approach the Bowman? Right now, there doesn't seem to be any sign of OUP or periphery officers. You guys have come into South Soffit. You've made your way up to the middle levels.
Can I ask Brandy to give a quick scout around to see if anybody's watching?
Yeah, you can certainly try. You know that when you ask, I mean, they're spirits. They don't always understand or wish to follow your direction. But you could go ahead and give me a sense roll to try and see if you can reason with Brandy to.
So I just want to check. I have 3 in sense and it's colored in. So 3
So
dice
you
and 1
roll
gilded.
3 dice. No, you would roll 3 dice total. One of those 3 is
Right.
gilded.
So
So 2 regular and 1 gilded. And then if
Yeah.
you take the gilded, yeah.
Well, one fell on the floor.
Reroll it.
The highest I got is a 4.
Was it on your gilded?
No.
Okay. Brandy just kind of looks at you with these big sad eyes and gives a little and kind of disappears into a little fine mist that only you can see that moves into the bowman. As you see the mist move into the bowman, you notice looking over the overhang down to the lower levels of South Soffit periphery. Police officers, periphery officers have arrived and are starting to climb up the levels of South Soffit towards the bowman.
Well, I was trying to scout, but I think we're about out of time, so let's go in.
Is anyone going to run interference this time, or is this are we just going to try and do this quickly?
You want to throw a cursed book at him?
It didn't work last time. I'm not saying it wouldn't this time. It kind of depends on its mood.
I mean,
but
how many times have you thrown it in the river?
That's true.
I mean, I don't really know much about that stuff, but wouldn't they be interested in your curse book?
You know,
They'd be more interested in him than the cursed book. They don't like the people that are infected with bleed. But on the subject of the man that we're trying to get to before they do, we might want to hurry along.
Mm-hmm.
I think Saoirse will just walk right in.
Yeah, walk and talk.
Yep.
Yes. You guys move into the bowman, and almost the second that you cross that threshold, I mean, beyond being told that everybody died here, you cross that threshold and you feel it. It's quiet. Too quiet. There's no breathing. There's no sounds of life. It's almost as if you just stepped into a morgue. You step in, and it's when you first enter, it's kind of just this like check-in desk hallway area that breaks off into 4 doorways, 2 to the left and 2 to the right.
Are there any new spirits around?
Not that you can see right now.
Okay.
With James having this feeling as usual, stepping in here, he'll reach into his jean pockets and pull out a pair of brass knuckles and put them on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You all right, Doctor? Did we figure out the whiteboard situation?
Where would you guys like to go first? You've stepped in. The hallway is empty. And there's like a check-in desk and nobody's standing there.
Is there like an upstairs, or like do we know where the sleeping quarters are?
You would know that each of these doors are sleeping quarters. Like, it's essentially just a check-in area, and then each of the doors have quarters filled with beds.
All right.
I'll start looking around, just trying to sense if one area feels worse than others.
Sure. Give me a sense roll.
6.
Great. You reach out, like pressing your sixth sense out past your body, and you feel just a deep, shattering cold. The cold of death. and it seems to be concentrated in each of the 4 rooms. It's not that there's one area that's worse than the other. All of the rooms have this coldness that just, and you have to release before it starts to crawl inside of you.
James will almost drop down to a knee. I think it's everywhere.
I'll go over and kind of scoop you up and stabilize you. You gotta watch that. Don't just, be reaching out in strange places. Weird things happen, and I shake my book at you.
Have your candy. I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna call out for him.
I was thinking the same thing, just being like, hey.
Mr. Dunkard, man, are you here? Hello?
Your voice travels across this space, and you can almost hear the oh, like as it bounces through the room. In fact, the echo seems to be longer than it should be, given the space that you're in. There's no response. There's no movement. You're all still just standing next to the check-in area, staring down this hallway.
Let's just go check one.
To be fair, if I was by myself scared witless, I would not also respond to strange voices.
Where's the room with these bodies? Should we find that?
I think we just gotta start opening doors.
Yeah, just start.
Yeah. So, which door do you go to first? Left, right?
Left.
Fight and conquer.
Sure.
I'll go to the right.
Okay, we'll do Jeremy first. So as Quincy, how does Quincy open this left side door?
So, just real quick, for the rules, this is my first time. So, for sense, can I kind of like what James just did, where I'm like reaching out? I'm more or less wanting to, touch the door. I'm holding this book in my hand. There's a little bit of water that drips out of it as it's continuing to dry. I just want to like kind of make sure that there isn't something bad. Like, I understand that death has happened here, but I just want to check the door and what's on the other side with my senses first.
Yeah, absolutely. You can give me a sense roll.
And double rolls are crits in this game, right?
No.
Not
unless it's double sixes.
What are double ones anything?
No, that's just a failure.
Okay, good.
That's just a failure.
There's
no such thing as a critical failure, because failure is bad enough in this game, but
I'm just gonna set those two dice aside as
critical failure. Yeah, so Quincy moves up and places his hand on the door while holding the book, and you feel the cold, but only for a second, before this blackness. You see this blackness creeping over your fingers, crawling up your arm.
I'm gonna jerk my hand back.
Bleed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna take a bleed mark, and as you jerk your hand back, your hand is fine. But
it might be this way. I'm not sure. What you find over there?
How does Emily approach the door? Unless the doctor had something.
Yeah, I'm gonna when I notice his reaction, I'm gonna come and like look at his hand, and focus, inspect it, make sure.
Sure, you can absolutely give me a focus roll on his hand.
All right,
Just a minor point. He probably has a little bit of blood on the inside of his forearm.
Is that something I did or that you did to me?
Something you did when you helped me up. There's a little bit of blood leaking from James's back through his tank top.
These things happen.
We just got here, guys.
Right? We're all gonna melt
just
in the
started.
first
You guys would
room.
know about that. You guys would know about that because you guys have been around him. This is not a new thing. This is a
Okay.
fairly regular thing that happens with him.
I
Above game, he previously took a scar, and this is one of his scars. Is this thing that bleeds?
the ever bleeding wound. Noticing this as you're looking at my hand, Dr. Hawthorne, I will pull out like a red handkerchief that I've started carrying with me exactly for this purpose, and just kind of wipe it off as you're looking at whatever happened to my hand.
Yeah.
I rolled a 5.
Okay. You're looking across his hand, and it looks fine. It looks fine. His hand looks fine. There doesn't seem to be anything in there besides the blood that he cleans up. And as he cleans it up, your eyes kind of naturally follow the motion and look up to his eyes. And for a second, you swear saw a little bit of black dripping in the corner of his eye.
I'm gonna kill him. I mean,
Roll for initiative.
There's no initiative? What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
okay. Like a briefly concerned expression will kind of flash over my face, and I'll pull out my notebook and begin to flip through pages, and start taking some notes.
Emily, how are you approaching the right-hand door as all of that was happening
I
simultaneously?
just open it.
Great. Yeah, you open the door, and the first thing you notice is empty beds. Not a person in the bed. All the sheets and blankets are pulled back as if somebody had stepped out of them and didn't make the bed afterwards. The second thing you notice, hidden slightly behind all of these beds, are the bodies.
Peeking
Body
around.
for each bed. 12 beds, 12 bodies.
Okay, so the live person's not in here. Doctor, I'm quite certain they're all dead in here, but you might want to take a look.
Like, Saoirse probably comes up behind her and lets out like a low whistle and is like, that really is, well, honestly, just kind of fucked.
And no spirits in here?
You would notice, so a common practice in the Fairlands, as far as death goes, is they have a practice called breath binding, which is when somebody dies and is buried, they cover the nose and mouth either with hands or a cloth or a mask, because they believe that if left uncovered, the soul will escape from the mouth and the nose, and that the soul needs to be bound to the body to find peace in the afterlife. All of these bodies, mouths are open.
When I hear this, it'll take me a little bit to snap out of my reading before I kind of go over to that door. Look inside.
Yeah, you see the 12 empty beds, 12 bodies, one at each bed. If you would like to look for anything, inspect for anything, step in the room.
Yeah,
let me know.
I'll step into the room cautiously. But before I do, I'm gonna kind of take stock of anything that might be out of place, right? Like that is a little bit different from just like obviously the dead people, but looking past the dead people.
Sure.
Yeah.
You can give me a focus roll as you inspect the room.
I got a 6.
Great. As you inspect the room, other than all the bodies being on the floor and out of their beds, the thing that you notice is the wallpaper. There's something not right with the wallpaper. It looks almost as if the ink or color has been kind of drained from it a little bit. And you move up to it, and there's not many. There's only kind of one area, but one spot where looks a little wet. The ink on the wallpaper.
Okay, like wet with water or wet with bodily
Wet
fluid?
as in like ink that has just been
Okay.
put down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll like snap my fingers and kind of point to the wallpaper, and then I'll go look at one of the corpses.
Yeah, so you can give me a focus roll for the corpses. The doctor has just snapped at you and pointed at the wallpaper.
I think Saoirse would go and kind of not touch it, but give it a look. Kind of try to see if there's anything. I mean, obviously it's wet, so that's weird, but like anything supernatural about it.
Sure, you can give me a sense roll.
Okay.
While this is going on, I'm just trying to keep an eye and ear out for our survivor.
Sure, give me a survey roll.
Alright, that's not.
Quincy.
That's the wrong thing. That's not in my dice thing. A 5.
Oh, you are staring at this wet, like, ink on the wall, and you try to push out, and you feel a tingle in your extremities. And you know there's something not right here.
Yeah. Thank
you will take a bleed.
Mm. Cool.
But you know that from that, this little piece of wet ink is probably a little piece of magic, of bleed, of something left behind by whatever or whoever did this.
I think anyone else in the room just sees Saoirse like lurch back from the wall and then kind of like massage her fingers, which are in these like thick black gloves, not fingerless like mine are, but and then kind of turn around and be like, whatever it was in the walls, so keep that one in mind, I guess.
What did the doctor roll? I saw what Emily rolled. What did the doctor roll?
5.
Okay. You start looking over the first body, and you start just doing your like general checks, and from your initial findings and what you have on hand, you know, it's not a full autopsy. You're not opening up and actually figuring out what happens, but all indications show heart attack. You move to the next body. Heart attack. The next body. Heart attack. And you move, almost in a little bit of a panic, across each of the bodies. Every single one. Heart attack. You will take a brain. But the other thing you notice is something you guys, all of you, are familiar with as your chapter house, is an apprentice shop. And the beds of their nails on their fingertips. Ink. Dried ink. On every one.
Do they look like they died in pain, or like the how am I one, like does it look like they're clutching their chest, or otherwise seem to like physical, like in their positioning that I think that I'm seeing a heart attack, or is it is the way that they're laying and where they're laying kind of
So part of the reason that you take that brain is that all the physical markers are there of an instantaneous death by heart attack.
Okay.
No lead up, no pain, just dead. Something interrupted the electrical impulses in their heart, and their heart stopped beating.
Okay. He'll write on his little blackboard, heart attacks, all of them, and then like underline all of them, trying to indicate that that's like a big deal. Like that's, for non-doctors, like that's a big deal. That wouldn't just happen.
So we've got something in the walls that causes heart attacks. I don't know what to do with that information, but good to have,
Emily,
I guess.
You were keeping an ear out and an eye out. You rolled a 4, correct?
Yes.
So as you're standing near the doorway, you can hear the sounds of heavy boots moving across the like metalled scaffolding towards the bowman, and you can assume that the periphery are nearly upon you.
Who among our circle is the best at like talking to these guys? My character's pretty young, so
I mean, yeah, my character is too. However, I do have a fully maxed out sway stat, so
right. I said, hearing the boots. Cersei, you're up. I'll keep an eye on the doctor.
all right. Someone try and find our guy while I keep him
That's
distracted.
what I was trying to do, but those lads are really being noisy.
Yeah, I'll handle them. You all handle finding our survivor. Would prefer to take him somewhere we can ask him some questions without being rushed. And I'll just kind of skirt my way towards the door.
So Shorsha moves out towards the front door as if to intercept the periphery. What are the rest of you doing?
You okay over there, Quincy?
Yeah, it's I mean, they're already way further than we are. We should just go through this door, and I'm gonna open it. The left one.
Which door is that? The left door?
Yeah.
Yeah. You open the door.
I'm actually gonna use that handkerchief that I had used to wipe the blood off.
Yeah, you open the door. 12 beds. 12 bodies. Same thing.
Any of you alive in here?
Nobody in the beds. Bodies on the floor next to the beds.
James walks up behind him.
Not a sound.
I'm not so good at counting, but that ain't 11, is it?
No, that's a dozen for sure. Are there stairs or anything in this room or
This
in...
was a hallway. Like, there's a lot of rooms, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, so you were in a hallway and there were 2 doors on either side. So far, you guys have done the first left and the first right. There are no stairs in this room. You would know that this is all just one level. There's 2 left, 2 right rooms, and then there is a like a cafeteria straight to the back.
Okay. How many doors on either side?
2.
So, James,
Wait, we've opened. Wait, there's only 2 rooms?
There's 4 rooms, and then
2
there's
on either
the
side.
like cafeteria, common area in the back, and you've looked at 2 so far.
So James, take that door, and I'm gonna go to the next one on the left and point him to the one on the right, and just check inside, see if there's anyone. We're looking for a room with 11 bodies and 1 survivor.
Yeah, James, do you go to the other door?
Yeah, James kicks it open.
Great. James
don't
kicks
touch
open
it.
the door. Easy enough. These doors do not have locks on them, as it is a homeless shelter, and that is a hazard to have doors that lock from the inside. That's not great. So yeah, you kick open the door. You look inside. 12 beds. 12 bodies. Quincy, you open the left-hand door. 12 beds. 11 bodies. Nobody else.
Mr. Duncan, are you in here?
Just that echo, that strange echo that doesn't sound right for the room that you're in.
Brandy,
Now,
where is he?
did it do that in the hallway too?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to verify. Thanks.
Brandy has now, after you say her name, kind of reappears back in front of you. Only you can see her. And she just...
You don't know he's not here? He's not here. Great. Do you know where he went?
She just points like towards the like break room, the cafeteria room at the end of the hallway.
Grum is still here, Brandy. Jeez. I'm already making my way towards the break room.
She gives like a long suffering sigh and just kind of floats trailing behind you.
I look
She doesn't make any noise, but like her whole body.
The body is
sighs.
just this like face palmy, like, really? This is what I saddled myself with.
After she floats by, but still looking where Emily had been looking, I reach down and pat the air there. I'm like, good job, Brandy. Thank you.
You
Is
can
Quincy
see that
picking
his
a dog?
his hand literally just like goes through her head.
What is her reaction to that? I'll just kind of whisper, he means well.
She's still just floating behind you.
And if this is a no, it's totally okay. Can I have some sort of like ghost candy kind of thing, like almost like a rock candy that I would just like kind of hold up for Brandy and like that she can float through with the like to have the idea of candy?
You could totally hold up one of the candies that you give everyone,
Yeah.
and then every time you do that, she just looks at you like I'm. You do it every time, and like it causes a slight smile to go on her face, but every time she just looks at you like.
I think that's the key. We get you to have a candy and you can go on.
And her hand just passes through again, like it does every time you say that.
Someday we'll get it.
I'm gonna
Uh,
kind of linger, waiting to make sure that Saoirse doesn't get into trouble. while everyone else
What?
goes.
No.
Right?
What are the James and
Never.
the what are James and the doctor doing? Because currently Quincy is lingering by the second left-hand door, kind of looking back towards where Sorsha went. Emily is heading towards the break area, cafeteria area at the end of the hall. Where are James and the doctor going?
Quincy, why don't you go with them? I'm going to walk down, be next to the door, just in case.
Oh, are you sure you've got this?
Eh,
You were kind of leaking, and I just wanted to make sure.
whenever
can-
we get around this stuff, the mark hacks up.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Okay. Yeah, just holler if you need anything.
I got in worse barber holes last night.
I'll be just gathering my things, rolling up my examination tools and probably hanging out, kind of just going back to the hall, kind of torn, like, do I go over here or do I stand over, and just kind of like assessing what he wants to do and thinking through what could cause this. Does he notice like, from the initial description, you had said that the people were getting up and moving to a bed that wasn't theirs, standing over someone else. Would he notice that the people have fallen not next to their own bed, but next to someone else's bed?
Give me another focus roll.
Yes, 6.
Yeah, you would notice, based on just the way that they fell, and kind of the direction that they were facing, that they did not fall from their beds. They were standing when they fell and had the heart attack. These beds are not assigned beds, so you can't tell who belonged to what bed, but you can tell that they were standing when they fell. They did not, like, roll out of bed and fall down.
Okay.
So we will go to Sorsha as Emily is entering the back room with Quincy. James is in the front area on the other side of the door, and the doctor is gathering up their stuff. Sorsha, you have just stepped outside of the Bowman, and you can see 2 periphery officers, specifically OUP officers, coming down the railing in your direction.
Cool. Yeah, she'll come out and then adopt this very, like, haunted look, and as they're getting closer, kind of put on a show of, like, having very shaky hands and pulling out, like, a carton of cigarettes and a lighter and, like, tapping one out and, like, failing, and then, like, finally getting one to light and sort of, like, leaning, like, against the wall, just, like 1,000-yard stare, like she just saw some shit. And then just, like, yeah, post up like that until they approach.
Yeah, so the 2 officers are both women. One is short, probably about like 5'2", very petite. Her blonde hair is tied up into a severe bun. She looks early 30s, probably. No nonsense, the kind of person that just wants to get, like, straight to the point. You get the idea that they're usually not the one interrogating witnesses. Now, in an actual interrogation room, yeah, this girl can rock, but just talking to people on the street, not her thing. The other woman that is with her is almost her exact opposite, almost 6 feet tall, dark skin. Her hair is also tied into a bun, but it's not quite as tight. It's neat, but it's not like like give yourself a headache tight. And she looks much more like, very much good cop bad cop situation here. in terms of vibes. She looks very much more welcoming. The short, petite woman walks up to you and is like, "What happened? Why are you here?"
I don't. They're all. I've never seen anything like it. They're all dead.
Were you
I know.
here? Did you see what happened?
No, I've got no idea. I had heard reports that something had happened, and I had a friend that's fallen on some hard times that was staying here, and I came to check, and there's. I wouldn't go in there. It's a massacre. There's no one left alive.
Yeah, you'll see that the petite woman kind of halfway through your talk moves to like just like kind of blow past you. But the taller woman,
Can I say that I was like leaning closer to the door, that when I started talking, I kind of like slump over like in front of the handle.
I mean, you can, but also the taller woman like puts a hand on her and is like, "Margaret, let her say what she needs to say. You said everyone's dead. We were told there was someone that survived. Is that you? Were you here when it happened?"
Gods no. I showed up maybe 15 minutes ago, looking for my friend, but he's in there. Like, they were methodical about it. Body for every bed. There's not a single soul left alive in there.
Me? Sway roll.
Let's go.
Give it to me.
Okay. That's a 4.
You notice that the shorter one, who you now know is named Margaret, is just looking very impatient and like done with whatever you're doing. While the taller woman is like, "Well, just our job to investigate. Who was your friend? What did he look like?"
Can you give me a description of one of the male bodies you saw in there? I'm just gonna start describing them.
Sure. Give me a focus roll. We'll see how well
Okay.
you remember one of the bodies.
Sounds good. Hey. Wait, no, this is not Dagger Heart. I was like, double 5s! That doesn't mean shit. 5, but on the Gilded Die. I mean, well,
So you
5, but...
you could refresh a drive if you had spent any, but I don't think you spent any. So, yeah, you would remember several of the men in that first room. You remember like older man, big bushy beard, and probably what used to be red hair that's gone salt and pepper. You would remember a younger man, probably a little younger than you, that had black hair that was very curly and kind of just sat in a mess on the top of his head. And then you would remember a probably someone that would be around late 30s, that had blonde hair, had like serious wrinkles, like not laugh wrinkles, but like they keep their face very kind of tight and pinched. Those would be the 3 that you would remember.
I think she would describe the younger man, the one that's like closer to her age.
Well, if you would please step aside, we will make sure that everyone is treated with dignity, but we need to figure out what happened.
Can I like, as like I've been talking, like listen inside and see if like my crew members have at least vacated the front hallway?
Sure. So, Emily and Quincy have gone into the back room. The other two are in the hallway. You guys can hear this conversation happening. What would either of the two of you like to do?
I'll actually go to down, to meet them. I'll pull out my doctor's credentials.
Oh, you're coming to me?
Yep.
I claimed that there was nobody inside.
Right, but you don't. You saw the first. You said you saw the first room and then left, right?
Yeah.
Like you didn't necessarily. So I will come out and I will kind of look surprised that anyone is there, and quickly take out my doctor's credentials and write on the blackboard. We're in a quarantine state, and then kind of point to Saoirse and say, or not say, but like right, like were you inside?
Great. We will resolve that in a second once I hear what
Sure.
James is doing. You've just you've heard that conversation. You see the doctor walking out the door.
Sure. I mean, I got Saoirse's cue that no one was inside. Doesn't sound like she's in any danger. So James is going to move to the back with the others, trying to be as quiet as possible.
Great. I will need the doctor to give me a sway roll.
Can I give him an assist on that one?
Absolutely. You can spend a drive to assist him on that, and you can add another dice to your dice roll.
And just so everyone knows, everyone has 2 dice that they can use willy-nilly, however you want to. From donations from a certain awesome benefactor to tonight's fundraiser. I won't name any names, Jason.
No names have been named.
No names
all
have been
good.
named.
I will use one of those dice. So
Great.
Okay. So you've got one from me too.
okay, I got a 6.
Okay.
Yeah. You come out in a very convincing, like, authoritative manner, and you like direct the question to Saoirse, and Saoirse gives a very convincing, like, kind of panicked look, like, because she just saw the quarantine and then the ask if she was there, and and the two periphery look at you and do you require us to cordon off the area? Do you need us to prevent people from coming inside?
Yeah, I'll nod emphatically, and at the same time be pulling her away from them, like we're all compromised, and you got to get the hell out of here so you don't also get compromised.
Yeah.
Sort of agreeing and also trying to extract us from
Yeah.
the
All right.
situation.
Saoirse is putting on a show of like panicking and like starting to cry a little bit at the fact that like implied that she might die, and she's like,
Yeah.
just selling it.
The taller woman nods very professionally and then looks down and is like, okay, we need to cordon off the area. The shorter woman looks at both of you and gives this like very angry huff and is just like, bullshit, fine, and just like stomps off as they like start securing like the area in front of the bowman, and the two of you can head inside. You think you are relatively safe for the moment from the OEP.
Cool. Yeah, once they get inside the door closed, Saoirse will just like stand up, like, love messing with them. Alright, where is everyone?
Great. We will leave that there as we cut to first Emily and Quincy heading into the back room. Yeah, you open up the room and it's this big open area. You can see like a kitchen serving line off to the right, and then just a bunch of like tables laid out that looks like they could serve 50, 60 people at a time, like at the tables laid out. The room is empty. However, there is a door in the back.
You're
You're
muted.
muted if you said anything.
Sorry, I head right to the back. I'll
Nope,
head to the
you're
back
good
and
that
open it up. Sorry. As I'm walking through the room, though, I'm gonna kind of look at Quincy like, how do they know that there's only one person alive?
That's what the lightkeeper was saying.
Right, but how did the lightkeeper know? Like,
they got a report. I don't know who reported it though. Maybe we should just keep an eye out for more than one, just in case.
turn to Brandy, and I'm gonna mouth the word trap with kind of questioning eyes.
Is there any like food on any of the tables, or has like meal?
It's been cleaned up,
Okay.
like for the night. You get the idea that the people that like serve the meals don't sleep here or stay here.
You don't suppose somebody poisoned them or something, do you?
Easy way to kill everybody.
Do you real quick, so there's the one door, is there a kitchen here, or is that door potentially the kitchen?
The door is a different door than the kitchen. There's like the serving area, and there is a door that goes like into the kitchen area. The serving area is to the right.
Okay.
You saw a door that's like in the back left, like at the far side of the room. What would be like the back of this building?
Do you feel
Wait.
comfortable like checking that door? And I'm just gonna go check the kitchen and make sure there's no, just empty boxes of rat poison or something that just.
Sure. So that's probably a broom closet anyway, so.
Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing.
So Emily, are you moving directly to that room, or are you trying to take in the space, or are you just moving there?
Time's of the essence. We need to find this person. I don't really have time to sense, so I'm just gonna go open the door.
Great. Jeremy, what are you doing?
And I'm gonna go open the kitchen door.
Yeah, you open the kitchen door and it's an empty kitchen. I mean, there's not even like dirty dishes. They cleaned up after themselves at the end of the night. It's just an empty kitchen. There doesn't seem to be any other doors in here.
Is there a trash bin?
Yeah. There's a trash bin. It is empty. It was taken out for the night.
Okay. Just kind of, if there's any cupboards or anything, just quickly going through those and making sure there's not like boxes of rat poison or bottles of cyanide.
Sure, give me a survey roll.
That is a 3.
You open foodstuffs, grain, eggs. I mean, like it's just your normal spread of what you would use to make food.
I will head back out and follow Emily.
As you head out, James comes through the door. Emily, you have gone to the far back door. Are you just opening it? Yeah, you open the door, and it's like a back alley, like where you would like it has the big garbage bins, where you would throw out all the trash. It's like a back alley area, and there's like a gate in the back that is open.
Wait. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the lay of this. I thought we were like up several stories.
You are. But there's still like a back alley you can look down. It's still an overhang, but there is like a back area where they like put out the garbage and like people. It's not like the main thoroughfare, but there is a back like ledge.
So it's like a fire escape kind of thing?
Kind of. A lot of South Soffit feels like fire escapes in that it's a lot of like metal scaffolding that like builds up and weaves up into these like separate stories. So it is like a metal scaffolding like back alley area. It is gated off, like a high gate, and it has the big like trash bin, but the gate to the alley itself is open, so you can see the overhang continues.
Well, if there's a survivor, he's not here anymore. He scoffed out the back, which wasn't locked.
I mean, I wouldn't have stayed around here.
Well, especially if they knew he was here and they didn't have anybody like come and be with him or anything.
I don't know how they knew, but their count was way off. Walking down the hallway, there was more than 11 dead.
You would know that they said everyone dead, one survivor. 11 is just what I explained in the
Gotcha.
opening sequence. They said everyone dead, one survivor. You would know that they have like an information network, usually comprised of younger people that have experienced the bleed, because this is something that you did when you were younger, Emily. In fact, like they're people that are not going to confront the situation, but if they hear of something, will report information back to Candela. So they're like usually singular people that would not be expected to talk or investigate or become face to face with whatever is happening.
Okay.
I should go chase this guy down pretty fast, but give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab some from the other room.
I'll turn. Brandy, any chance you know which way the guy went?
Brandy will give me another sense roll
Cool.
for Brandy.
I keep dropping a dice when I roll 3.
You're gonna run out of dice soon.
4 on the gilded, but I haven't spent anything, so.
You'll notice Brandy kind of shifts down to the like this metal flooring and points a finger and almost moves like she's going to touch the floor. And you notice where she's pointing, there is a little black spot. And you notice as her finger goes in, you see a blackness start to, which is weird because you've never seen the ghost interact with anything or anything happen to her besides her ghost Silvery when she moves away from you. But you almost see a blackness creeping up her ghostly finger. And you look down, and that same blackness is creeping up your finger. You're going to take a bleed.
Excellent. So, because I have let them in,
Absolutely.
whenever I take 1 or more bleed marks, I also gain additional information about the phenomenon that has harmed me.
Yeah. You can ask me a question
Yes.
about the phenomenon that you would like an answer to.
I don't suppose you would answer, what is this?
If that is the question that you're asking as you're pointing in, you don't get a specific answer. You get a feeling of familiarity and a familiar feeling of wrongness as you look at this mark, and as you see it kind of moving up your finger and the ghost's finger, almost as ink spreading across a page, like when you drew a drop of ink and it like spreads across the page. You have read about and learned about creatures known as, sorry, I have to pull up my information, as ink stalkers. But everything that you've noticed seems not exactly what you know about ink stalkers. So this phenomenon has a basis in ink stalkers, which you know are creatures that live in wallpaper, newspaper, paintings, anything that has ink, and normally they feed on creativity. You've known that previously they've been found in places like the Red Lamp, and that they feed on someone's like imposter syndrome and stuff, and they force them to create more and more work that they're just get more and more dissatisfied with, feeding on that creativity until they've sucked them dry of all inspiration. The information that you found out so far that leads you to believe that these have a basis in ink stalkers is the wallpaper, the ink droplets. But the effect of heart attacks, people dying, that doesn't coincide with what you know about ink stalkers.
As I pull my hand away and get Brandy to step away.
Brandy does the same. You guys do it almost at the same time, in the same motion. If anybody else could see Brandy, it would look eerie the way that you guys, the motion is the same.
It's not even one of our dance moves that we practiced. At least we know what it is, sort of. Kind of. Are the other lads with me, or?
So, you would have noticed her freeze and stare at her hand, and then move her hand back, and that is when the other two would join you. You guys would have Sorsha and the doctor would have followed down the hallway through the room, because you would have seen the back door open and heard their voices, and you guys walk in behind them just as she's like jerking her hand back in shock. So
Can we see
all
the
of you are
black
together.
spot?
You did not.
Okay.
Everything all right?
I got some information. It's some sort of twisted ink stalker.
James shrugs.
The ones that prey on creativity, make you create things till you die.
He shrugs again.
We'll get you one day.
Well, it's official.
Well,
I don't.
yeah,
I don't think
also
anyone's
from-
been. I don't think they poisoned. Oh, hey everybody.
I was just going to say, you would notice that the Brandy was pointing at a physical, like, ink spot on the ground, as maybe that is a trail that this guy might be leaving behind.
Hold on a second. And we're in the kitchen, right?
Dining
Oh,
room.
no, you guys are in the
nearby.
back alley right now next to a
Oh.
giant garbage bin.
James will walk in to the kitchen, get a spoon,
Sure.
and he'll scoop it up and put it in a bleed containment vial.
Yeah, easy enough. You'll notice as you put it into the bleed containment vial, what does your bleed containment vial look like?
For James, it's just like a small little stopper it's probably made of metal because he's not so good with glass and didn't want him to break it or whatever. It's probably got some kind of engravings on it from the organization that helps keep the bleed in check.
Yeah, so I like scoop up this little bit of ink that's still on the ground, and you start like pointing the spoon towards the stopper. You can see as if the ink starts to act on its own, as if it wants to move away before it's just sucked into the vial.
Well, definitely something different. But maybe we can look for tracks. If he's dropping this.
I'm gonna, with this additional information of like it might be an ink stalker, but like and me knowing or remembering that like seeing the incongruities there of like, well, yeah, okay, ink stalkers take your creativity, they don't give you heart attacks. Like, seeing if I can remember anything from any of my studies, either in Candela or from medical research, that would indicate how, like how something like this could be causing death.
Sure. Give me a focus roll.
Six.
Yeah. So from your observation of the bodies, you and like thinking about ways that heart attacks are caused, you firm up your belief that whatever this is, like, just finitely disrupted the electrical impulses of the body, and you tag on the word electrical because electricity is new. It's a new technology in New Fair. It's the reason the war ended. It's a technology that's being expanded upon. And as you dive the like connection rabbit hole, you go electricity, technology, and magic. And all of you know of a group called Eons, which is the Esoteric Order of New Sciences, which is a group that actively works to blend magic and technology together. And most of technology right now is based in electricity. And so you get this inkling as you think about it that maybe some sort of experimentation, some connection to electricity changed the ink stalkers at a fundamental level.
Okay. So the doctor is very melancholy, typically, very serious, and this is like almost comical in its like pantomiming, like eureka, like that sort of movement. And he writes eons on the, and again, lots of explanation points. Like it's clear that whatever is caused him pain in his life, like making these sorts of discoveries really fuels him. And so yeah, he'll kind of share that with whoever's next to him.
Which is all of you.
Yeah. Do you think they have something to do with this? What mutated Inkstalker?
Yeah, I'll write like electricity, electrically caused heart attacks, and magic, like with a plus, right? Like he's scribbling this down really quickly, to try and then point to eons, like they're probably the source.
Is there something that we could do to protect against it?
Well, and do we go after the boy, or this survivor, or do we try to go and see what's up with Eons?
I say we gotta find that guy first.
Let's find our survivor. I don't think we should approach Eons without conferring with Candela first. They're not someone you want to mess with.
Well, more importantly, he might be killing people as he drops this stuff.
Hopefully that's not the case, but it would be an easy trail to follow.
Start fanning out to look for more of the ink spots. When we find the next one, I want to call Quincy over.
Sure. Is everybody looking for the ink blots? If so,
Sure.
You need to pick one person that's gonna do the roll, and the rest of you can spend drive to assist if you want to, but only one person will be rolling for the group.
The roll be.
It's gonna be survey.
Got a decent survey. Got 2. Unless this is a high pressure situation.
This would be standard. You're not quite
Okay.
up into high pressure right now.
I'll give you a drive. I haven't spent any yet. Let's do it.
Can more than one person spend a drive?
Yeah.
I'll
Mhm.
spend a drive
You
as
can
well.
just only roll a max of 6.
Okay.
dice.
Yeah, I'll spend a
But-
drive.
Yeah. You have 2 extra dice from the spent drives, and
Okay.
then you can spend any you want if you want to, or any of your 2 extra that you have as well.
Yeah, I'll spend a drive because this is my gilded skill. So I
Great.
would, assuming I choose to use it.
Yeah. So that's 5 dice.
Oh, wrong click. I will take my non-gilded 6.
Great. Yeah, you guys step out of this open gate, and you almost immediately spot another blob of ink to the left. And as we go from there, we're gonna take our break.
How exciting!
Yay!
Awesome.
On
Well,
the trail of mystery,
goopy mystery.
goobies.
Awesome. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Remember, you can head over to the link on Tiltify and donate to this wonderful cause for Mental Health Awareness Month. And I think that's all I was going to say. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. I'm just gonna hand it off to Carly.
Great. Yeah. James just found another blob of ink to the left, and he's found indications that at least the ink drops are headed that way.
And there's no sign of the OUP back here.
Not yet.
We should definitely.
Saoirse
hurry
would,
that.
inform everyone and be like, the bomb is sometime, but they're cordoning off the area, so we should go.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy enough to follow the ink trail with the 6 that James rolled. Right now, it's just moving to the left, off this, towards just continuing down this alley that's on the back of these buildings.
We've been with Candela long enough. Like, would it be prudent of us to, like, for our training and experience, would it be better to slow down a little bit and collect all the ink spots we find, or is it better to find this person fast?
Well, so one of you has already said that they have a bleed containment vial, and these ink drops are small enough that it would be easy enough to kind of just scoop up the drops as you move along. You will remember that there was some information about Declan Mon in the dossier that was given to you. You guys kind of glanced over it, but if you guys wanted to look at that more, that's also an option if you're trying to determine where he might have gone.
Yeah, I'm super
but
curious.
Currently, you're following the ink blots.
I would pull mine out of my leather bag and open it up, and then realize it's now pretty much illegible from getting wet, and the ink is all run. So I'll stuff it back in there, curse the cursed book, and look to somebody else. Does somebody else have their dossier I could read, or maybe they could read it on the run?
Oh, you can have mine. I wasn't going to really read it too much.
Oh, thank you.
Give me a focus roll
Focus.
for Quincy. You're currently on the trail of the ink blots, and you're leading the trail on the ink.
I am gonna spend one of my donation dice to get a 5.
Yeah, you start looking over the information, and there's not a lot. Declan Mon is in his late 50s. He was not part of the war due to a heart condition.
Interesting. I'll bring that up with the doctor. Just gonna point that out.
And then the other note is he never married, doesn't have any kids, but he does have a sister and her husband who live in South Soffit, whose kids have grown up and moved away. So it's just his sister and her husband that live in South Soffit. He doesn't have a home, but he has family as a home, so that could potentially be a place of interest.
Does it list any names or addresses?
It lists the names of Deidre as his sister, Deidre Mon, and then the husband is just Marcus. And then as far as an address goes, the address that is listed is about 3 blocks from here, on lowest level of South Soffit. So one of the nicer places in
Does
South
it
Soffit.
happen to be the direction we're walking?
Give me another focus roll. You have not spent a lot of time in South Soffit.
That is a 5. I was all excited. 2 5s. Nope, just a 5.
Yeah. Yeah, you're pretty sure that the direction that you're headed right now is in a similar direction to where his sister lives.
According to the dossier anyway, sometimes they're not completely correct, outdated and such, but it does appear that this Declan does have a sister, lives close to here, only maybe 3 blocks, kind of that way. Should we at least maybe pay a visit, unless the goo leads us elsewhere?
Good idea as any.
So, Doctor, how long are those people? Were you able to tell how long they were dead?
Was I?
You would know that it had probably only been like a couple hours, that you guys were alerted fairly quickly to what happened, and it really only took the time that it was to gather you guys and then get you guys over there for was the amount of time that they were dead.
Yeah, I'll like kind of put up like 2 and then point to a pocket watch.
2 days?
I'll
2 hours.
write 2 hours.
Then how did they get all this information on him in 2 hours time?
Candela has their ways. I know a couple of y'all are new to this, but they can almost sometimes be as creepy as the things we hunt.
It's like they knew before it happened.
And they might have.
As we've been going down the alley, James has been seeing these other droplets and picking them up. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's been scooping them up into his
Okay.
bleed containment vial.
Can I try and analyze or estimate, like, if these droplets were to be dropping like with the same viscosity of blood, how quickly the person was probably moving based upon how far apart the droplets are spaced?
Sure. Give me a focus roll.
Can I help with a drive?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a 5.
As you guys are following the placement and the droplets seem to be dropping at a fairly regular interval, it would indicate, if it behaved similarly to the way blood does, that this guy was running full out, like panicked, run for my life kind of run. That would also track with the like the gate door being open. But not necessarily with you would wonder if based on the fact that he was running full out, why was the door to the room closed? Why was the door to the
Building.
garbage area closed? But then the gate wasn't, and he was running. But every indication gives that he was running fast.
Yeah, I'll kind of write on the board. Looks like I think that he was going pretty quickly by this point. I will like write that on the.
Is he trying to find more people to pass it on to since he was the last one?
Or was he running from someone?
Or he woke up with 11 bodies next to him.
This heart condition that kept him from the war. Was there any more information than that my character would like understand? It was oh, go ahead.
It would have been placed in there, the information there, that essentially his heart condition almost prevents his heart rate from increasing. He's constantly at a low, almost dangerous heart rate, known as bradycardia. So you would know that, like, essentially his heart is always beating a little too slow, which means that lengths of extensive activity and things like that are very difficult because his heart can't keep up with the energy that he's outputting.
Sure. So like fleeing at a full sprint might
He
find him.
probably can't do it for very long, and it's probably very dangerous for him. And you would know from his paperwork that he had this condition since he was fairly young. So he's been.
So he would know it
for
too.
Decades.
So the fact that he's going at this, like, whatever he's running from, or is way worse than potentially dying.
With that in
Or at
mind,
least-
maybe we should be watching down like alleys and like little nooks and stuff along the way and make sure he hasn't collapsed somewhere.
Sure. Do you want to give me a survey roll, Quincy?
Well, sure I do.
Do you want a drive to go with that?
Sure I will.
Have to.
Okay.
2 extra dice.
Excellent. That is a 6.
Hey.
Great. As you guys are moving along, following these droplets, you're like looking into the gates because you guys are still in the alley. At one point, the droplets like go down like a ladder to the lower level. You guys follow down that, and you're keeping an eye out. It's like 3 a.m. It's pretty still out. There's not a whole bunch of activity. And this poor area is not super well lit, so it's fairly dark out here. So there's points where you like see a shadow and think it might be something, but then it's nothing. It's just a shadow. You don't find any indication that he has dropped dead or is hiding in an alley. The droplets keep continuing.
Is it possible to fall off?
Yes.
Okay. So just if the trail runs dry, something to be aware of if he does have a heart issue and keels over, and I just look down over the edge. But we should.
Yeah, you say that before you guys go down to the lowest level. Now you're on the lowest level, and there's nowhere to fall on the lowest level. It's street level.
Okay.
Does this path seem to be going towards his sister's house?
Yes.
Yeah.
As you guys move down and keep going, it seems to be heading towards his sister's house. Unless there's anything else, you guys can continue to follow the path. And you guys are getting close to where his sister's house is. When I need all of you to make a survey roll for me, please.
Cool. I'm gonna use one of my gifted dice because my survey is non-existent.
Do the same.
Is that a normal survey?
6.
Just a survey roll.
Yeah, normal
5.
situation.
High stakes.
Okay.
4.
Sorry,
5.
4 for sorry, for Sorsha, 5 for the doctor, 5 and 6. And what did you get, James? 5. Okay. As you're moving closer, you suddenly, piercing through the night, you hear a female scream.
Mm.
No! And it just cuts off in the middle of one of those no's. Everybody that didn't roll a 6 is going to take a brain.
Ew.
As that pure panic that is just abruptly cut off sets a panic inside of you. You were right around the corner, and it seemed to come from his sister's house.
I think Saoirse just takes off.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys take off running. Saoirse, you said you were moving first, so please give me a move roll.
Cool.
See. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
6.
6. Yeah, Saoirse takes off sprinting, and in the half second it takes the rest of you to start running, she is almost to the house.
She's pretty quick.
You get up. Do you just try to burst in the front door?
I think, yeah, probably should make an attempt to open it.
It's unlocked.
Cool. Yeah, inside.
You run inside, and you see the older gentleman, Declan man, that you've seen a picture of. Hair kind of wild out, eyes wide in a panic, still blue, wide in a panic, with 2 bodies on the ground next to him. And he seems to be staring. So you burst in and you see that to the left in like a living room area, and he seems to be staring up above the top of the entryway to the living room.
Can I look at where he's looking without taking my eyes, or keeping him kind of in my periphery?
You're it's on the other side, so there's an entryway, a doorway to go into the living room, and he's looking at the top of the doorway. You're looking at the back side of where he's looking right now. You have to step into the room to see what he's saying.
Okay. I think, yeah, hands up, Declan? We're not here to hurt you, we're here to help. We're gonna need some answers real fast.
Not responding, he's just staring in wide-eyed terror.
Declan, what do you see?
As you say that, you see a drop of ink drop from the behind, like the doorway, like at the top of the doorway, and drop down. I need you to make another move roll.
Cool.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put the drive on that. Oh wait, no, I can use my last. I've got sticky notes to remind myself.
Go for
Okay.
We're running out of donation
Let's-
dice.
I'm using them.
Use them.
All right.
It's a one shot. They don't carry over.
Exactly.
Right?
That's a 5.
it. Okay. It drops down and kind of splatters. It was a pretty big drop of like what
Mhm.
looked like ink, and it splatters and it catches on your boot, and you
Ooh.
feel a tingle run
Mhm.
up your leg, and it feels like your scar is growing,
Ooh.
and it's up to your
Uh-oh.
knee now. So you are going to take a brain and a bleed.
Oh.
The rest of you come in just to see the drop of ink. You're coming in behind
Yeah.
Sorsha as the drop of ink drops, hits her foot. You just see her eyes go wide. Across the room, you see Declan staring up somewhere you can't see, just frozen in terror.
Saoirse probably loses her footing, and like stumbles back and like goes to one knee.
Can I kind of catch her?
Yeah, I mean, you can come up behind her, but is there anything you guys would like to do or try to figure out in this moment as you come in?
I think I'm mostly focused on Saoirse and trying to make sure she's okay.
And yeah, she like is able to like right herself and like stand up, but looks a little freaked, and she does not look freaked often.
You see the ink that was on your boot start moving up your leg as if it's looking for something.
Do we see it moving?
Yeah, you guys saw the ink drop. You saw some of it splatter on her foot, and that piece is moving up her leg, but then you also see the piece that dropped that's in the entryway now that is just moving towards all
Can
of
I
you.
take my bleed container vial and scoop the ink into it?
You can try.
Yeah.
You can give me a control
Which-
roll.
Which ink are you trying to scoop?
The one that's on my cousin.
Okay.
Well, how about drive? I'll use one of my nerve drives to help her.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
how
so
are
I
you
have-
helping her?
So I've got one as well. So essentially, he'll put his down to try to, since I saw it vacuum, trying to give it more suction with 2 of them there.
This is a much larger blob
Sure.
than you have previously seen. But yes, give me a control roll. You can add the drive from.
Okay, so I have 0 in control. So with his drive, it's just
You
one
roll
die?
1. Yep.
6.
Yay!
Yeah. So you scoop down and you manage to scoop up almost all of it. You get very close to getting all of it, but a tiny bit as you're scooping down, your finger makes contact as you scoop down. You're gonna take a bleed.
Okay.
Yikes! On a 6.
I would like to
dude.
know what is the best way to negate this.
You as you touch that ink, you realize there might not be any way to get rid of this besides finding a way to contain it, but the best way to make sure that you don't die is to keep your heart rate low.
Ooh.
So as that happens, she kind of like has a moment of like kind of flashing with Brandy, and it's almost like the information is communicated in. It's like, we have to keep calm. If we keep calm, it's not going to be able to harm us. Keeping our heart rate low.
So
The
by
big
this,
blob is still moving towards you, and another piece, another big blob,
Wait, I thought I
drops from
just
the
scooped up the
ceiling.
blob.
there are
You
multiple.
scooped up the part that was on her.
Oh, okay.
which was a smaller piece that splattered off a larger piece that was moving towards all of you. So there's that piece. Then there's another one that drops and forms with that larger piece to become a larger thing that's just full on. You know the like pollution monster from Ferngully?
Yes.
Is full on just creeping, but it's ink and it's creeping along the ground towards the group of you.
So by this point, like while that was going on, I pulled out my bleed container vial, which is a crystal that's been hollowed out and has a stopper in it. I pull a stopper out, and I'm like trying to figure out if I can like spider in a glass this thing. Is it larger than like? And do I know like
you would know at this point that like the amount that she scooped up is about what your basic containment vials
and this is bigger than
handle against something that's resisting. If you can somehow disable it for a second, you could probably get it into a containment vial. But the size that you see now, and because Declan is still staring at something up above, indicates that this is not all there is, that you'll need to disable it or dysfunction it for a moment somehow in order to get it all in the vial. It's too big to just be sucked in.
Okay. So I didn't want to interrupt too much earlier, but when this dangerous phenomenon harmed Sorsha, I used sorry, I lost it. Blood of the Covenant to get my drive and intuition back.
Nice.
What is that specifically?
So that is the one that is the first time a dangerous phenomenon inflicts a mark on anyone in my circle. I refresh a number of points in any drive equal to your current intuition resistance.
Great. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I'm going to, when I kind of hear the instruction of we need to remain calm, I'm gonna start digging in my doctor's pouch looking for
Downers.
to pass out to everyone to reduce heart rate, like
Nice.
like low level tranquilizers that we can
Give
imbibe.
me a focus roll. This is going to determine how many you have, because you cannot just say that you have enough for your entire
Even though it's
party.
my gear during each assignment.
It is your
Okay.
gear, but that is like beyond the
Sure.
function of like one piece of gear. So that's why
Sure.
you're gonna roll to see how many you have.
Okay. 6.
Yeah, so you would have enough for 3 of you. You would have enough to give to 3 of the 5 of you.
So while you're doing this, I'm going to say, I'm going to keep it busy. I hope, figure out what to do with it. And then I'm going to turn around, I'm going to take out the tome. And I open this tome that's like encrusted with bone and stuff. And I rip out a page and I stuff it in my mouth and begin chewing it. And as I do so, ink begins to drool out of my mouth and my eyes. I'm going to use speak their language. I can speak the supernatural language of any phenomena I encounter. I have described the strange and terrifying way in which I communicate, and I'm going to try and ask it what it wants. And keep it, like, busy while they're...
Like, dripping, hungry, this dripping, crackling voice, and it's just like,
Oh, you cut out on that part. What was it?
hungry.
There's a diner down the road.
It's moving towards you. You need to give me a sway roll. You're
Okay.
trying to distract it from the rest of you.
I'll give you a drive.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, and
How are you helping him?
That's a good question. I think maybe just from behind, like, when Sorcerer sees him, like, doing his book stuff, is just encouraging, and it's like, come on, Q, keep it distracted for a
Okay.
little bit. We can figure this out.
That's a 5.
Yeah. So you say that, and you see it just comes right towards you because you're talking to it, and it reaches out, like, as it's spreading across the ground, and it touches your boot, and you will take a brain and a bleed.
Okay, so when that happens,
As you feel it told you it was hungry, but when it touches you, you feel that hunger. It's hungry for something.
Well, he's distracting it, because I was up there and close. I'm gonna spend an intuition to use my uncanny eye ability, which means I get to ask you a question, and so I'm just gonna go for based on my knowledge and the amount of time that I've spent in Candela, which is over a decade, despite only being like in my mid-20s. Would I know of a way to disable something like an entity like this?
Bro, this entity is different than most entities that you've encountered, and that this entity has been corrupted by electricity and by technology. So it's not operating in the usual way that bleed operates. But you understand, in terms of the way electricity works, that maybe if you gave it a large enough shock of some kind, you might be able to dismantle the electricity flowing through it, but it would have to be big, especially given the understanding that it is essentially disrupting the electrical impulses in somebody's body to give them a heart attack. You would understand it would need to be a pretty significant shock.
Any electrical things in this house that I can see?
Survey roll.
Yikes, I'm not good at that.
while she's rolling that, there was I had a ward that soaks a bleed. So when it touches me, I do take one of them because it only soaks one bleed, but the book disperses like a flash of light, and I'm going to only take the brain, yeah.
Brains.
Does anyone have an intuition drawer that they can help me out on this?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll spend an intuition.
Thank you.
I'll spend an intuition as well.
Oh,
I got
okay,
it.
So
how many was that?
That's 3.
3.
3. Okay, sick. Let's go. Actually, I rolled 2 6s.
Nice.
Important.
Critical.
Yeah, you like scramble up to your feet and you start searching around, and you don't see anything immediately in this route, in this area that you're in. There is a chandelier, like a not a very fancy one, but like a kind of a broken down chandelier that's up above you. But you don't think that would be enough. But you remember, out on the streets, there's lots of areas in like the levels above the lower level where there are like pieces of wire that just hang down, that is the running of electricity that goes through the eaves and other parts of the better parts of the that they just kind of strung through South Soffit. So you know that there's places that have large currents that you could potentially use outside of this building.
All right, yeah, I think so. She would kind of like take a step back towards them, like, I have an idea. I think to attempt to disable this thing, we need to give it more current than it knows what to deal with. Which means we need to get it outside.
Another drop. Big goop comes from the ceiling and starts moving towards James. James, are you doing anything as it's moving?
Oh yeah, James will
Towards you.
try to get the hell away from it.
Yeah, give me a move roll. Move
Try to
roll.
lead it since she's saying we need current. If he sees anything that he thinks
Yeah.
has current.
Well, she's said to get it outside.
Okay.
That's been the instruction.
You know what? He'll keep moving it outside. I'm gonna spend a nerve drive. Sorry, I was having to find that. That would be a 5.
Yeah. You successfully keep its attention as you move out the door, and the rest of you kind of push back, giving a little space, and the goop directly follows you, and you guys are like now in the front doorway when this goop kind of swings a little like pseudopod out and like goes. It seems to be swinging towards your face, and it latches onto your face, and the rest of you can see the goop starting to like try and go for his eye and his mouth, like it's trying to go inside of him. You will take a body and a bleed.
All right, quickly.
Well, I will
As this
scope.
goop is like on him and is gonna start going inside
Yikes.
of him.
Can
Yep.
I say I have a second containment vial to try and get the goop off his face?
You would understand that this goop is probably too big right now. It will not work. You could try something else, but right now a containment vial is not going to get this goop.
Well, I'll
Alright.
soak the body.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna spend 1 nerve also for tactician. James is
Mhm.
pretty observant, trying to remember the last exact spot where he saw electricity that they could probably use.
Yeah, what is the specific wording on tactician?
When you're in a dangerous scenario, you may spend 1 nerve to ask the GM a question. Like, how do I
Yeah.
get to safety? What poses the largest immediate threat to my circle?
Yeah, you would know that just outside this door there is a ladder, a steep stairwell that goes up to the second level of South Soffit, and that there was a large, and you would assume, given its radius and diameter, a large electrical cord that we hung down. Like you would have to duck behind to keep walking past. That would probably have a large current if you could somehow get the wire exposed, running through it.
Okay.
I'm
I
going
will
to
tell folks that.
Yeah, and
As it's
as it hit him, I will take the syringe of tranquilizer and just stab it in his a muscle
Eye.
group.
Oh.
Yikes.
sure. Give me a control roll, please,
Are you giving me like
or
an
strike,
entropy?
or strike. Your choice, control or strike.
I can use anatomical strike, so I know
Oh
I can
yeah,
use focus
absolutely
instead of
use that.
strike. Yeah.
Do it.
Sounds like I'm getting atropine.
I rolled a
Yeah,
5.
this is more of a question of how quickly he administers it. If he gets it quick enough and in the right place, to prevent further damage.
Sure. I rolled a 5.
Okay, yeah, you stab in and you inject it, and you could see that the goo almost seems to shift as if it's looking at what you did, and the goo drops down from his a part of it drops down from his face onto your hand, so you
Right.
will take a bleed as the goo is now traveling up your arm. So we have goo on, we have inky goo on both the doctor, James,
Shit.
and Quincy right now. All have inky goo on them.
You said the wire or like the cable was. How long would it take to like get to it potentially? / where is it in relation to us?
It's not too far. You would have to come out of the building, out of the front door, and then there's like a steep stairwell to the right, and it's just up there.
Okay.
So you could try to get there really quick if you wanted to. It would be a move roll.
I think looking around, seeing that multiple of her crew members are now have the inky stuff on them and are actively fighting it. She's gonna go like step up next to Hawthorne and be like, I might need to schedule an appointment after this one, Doc. Pull out a knife from her boot and is going to take a bleed, which is it's for you in Kurascar, correct?
Correct.
Cool. Take my third bleed and teleport up to the wire.
Oh,
Oh,
Wha-
yeah,
what?
absolutely. You're doing your prestige.
Yep.
Yeah, you do that, and you appear next to the wire, and you can feel that that feeling when the goop was like on your leg of it moving up your knee. That feeling like kind of solidifies within your leg, and you know that you've
Definitely, yeah.
lost a little bit more.
Yeah. There's reason her boots and gloves are reinforced. I think, yeah, it's one of the things, again, she appears, stumbles, and then is going to take the knife she pulled from her boot and just start sawing into the wire.
Yeah, we'll get back to you in a second. Emily and Quincy. Quincy, you currently have goo on your boot that is moving up your leg, but what would the two of you like to do?
I think follow. Can we follow everybody?
Well, you guys are all still like crowded in the entryway. She just teleported away, presumably where James directed her. But the rest of you are in the entryway of this small home with goo dripping from the doorway to the library, across which is still a terrified-looking Declan, as the goo seems to be ignoring him and is converging on all of you.
I guess I would like to step outside to give room.
Give me a move roll to make distance without being.
I'm just trying to get out the door.
I know, but you're making distance from them, so we're seeing how successful you are at that.
3.
A 3. Yeah, you move to step back, like step out the door, and get out of this entryway, and you don't notice when you step in a giant pile of ink that then curls up your boot, and it's fully up to your knee, just covering all of that area. You will take let's see, you will take a body and 2 bleed. You failed, so it's pretty rough.
Okay, so I take so I had 3 or 2 bleeds, so now I have 3, and then I have another one, so I take a scar.
Yes.
Okay.
So what'll happen is you guys will notice that Emily moves to run out the door, and she steps in this goo, and it comes up her leg, and you see this bright, like, terrified look across her face as her eyes for a second flash black, and she is just standing there
So,
with black eyes.
all right, I get 2 questions then for my. Aside from electrocuting ourselves, is there any way to get this stuff off of us?
all you've determined right now from your knowledge, part of this is you don't know what you're fighting, so it's about trying to come up with solutions. All you've determined from what you know is that it is a blend of technology and that maybe a shock will disable it for you long enough to contain it. If you want to try something else or think something else might work, you could try that. I say you as the group, as Emily is currently out of the scene right now because you took a scar. However, you guys did take that circle ability, so any actions made to help her or get her out of danger will have an extra dice to your dice pool.
Do I get a second question or no because I get the scar?
Yeah. Well, you got the scar. So scar, right now you can think about, we'll come back to what you want when you want to describe it, but think about what your scar is.
Mhm.
And then you also, as part of the scar, move an action point. You take an action point from one area and put it into a different action based on the scar that you got. So think about that while the rest of them are trying to save you. So she is currently standing there, upright, eyes black.
So
I will.
Oh, go ahead.
I will administer another one of the tranquilizers into her to prevent her from dying.
Yeah. Absolutely. You can give me the focus roll, the anatomical strike roll.
5.
Yeah, you stab this into her, but in this moment of helping her, the ink crawls further up you, so you take a bleed.
Okay.
Is everyone covered in bleed now except for me?
Ink?
Yes.
Covered in ink?
Ink. Yes. Okay.
Cool. So
Quincy, if you have something you want to do, you can do it real quick. Otherwise, we're gonna adjudicate.
So I have these occult supplies that I've been trying to find out what that means. There's not really anything in the book that delineates
what do you want to do?
that. So is there something within it that I can think of that would potentially feed, like, be a snack for these, or distract them, or kill them?
Do you think there is?
I think there is. I think it's asbestos.
I mean, you can use sand to like dry up ink.
Right,
Maybe
true.
have
Yeah,
some sort of
yeah.
strange
I
power.
mean, occult supplies, I would be like either salt or sand or both. Sure, yeah, there's sand in there, and I'm going to try dumping sand on who looks the worst off?
It's a question for
for
them. Who's worse, James or I mean, obviously Emily's the worst. Emily has black eyes. Full black eyes just staring at
I'll just spray sand directly in her eyes.
Pocket sand.
We'll get some Visine for you later. Sorry. Sand blaster.
You can give me a strike or control roll.
Okay. Anyone around helping me?
Have a strike.
I don't think I'm close enough to help you.
Yeah.
So this is control.
Yeah.
It's a 5.
Okay, you pull out this like little bag of sand that you have, and you're like, God, I hope this works. And you just like open it and just like kind of throw it and toss the sand like in a spray across her face. And for a second, her eyes flicker back to herself before going black again.
Okay.
This motion made to help her allows ink to crawl further up you, giving
Y'all ready to
you
get
a
electrocuted?
bleed.
Yeah.
Another bleed.
Okay.
All
So-
right. Yes. Yeah, James, did you have something real quick? Otherwise, we're gonna go back.
So James, being pretty strong, he's going to try to grab Emily and take her all the way up to the electrical. Just
Yeah, give
dragging
me-
her, picking her up, and carrying her.
Give me a move roll.
Yep, I'm going to spend a drive. And then I'm going to spend my 2 bonus dice to get to 6 dice on this. To try to make sure she gets
No.
there. Best is a 5.
Okay. You pull Emily up, and she's essentially dead weight, other than that, like, it's more like a body in full rictus, because she doesn't go limp, but she's just stiff. She's not helping you, she's not hurting you, she's just a stiff, frozen body. And you run with her, and you run, and you run, and you're like, I need to get there, I have to get there. And you pull yourself up the stairs. You get Emily, and you set her right next to where Sorsha is. And in that moment, the ink spreads and spreads. You take a bleed, a brain, and a body.
Shit.
And this is with the injection.
Yep.
Okay. That would be a scar then.
Shit. Oh, I can't
So
touch
she-
bleed again.
So you set her up there, and you see his eyes go black. You have 2 of your family, your circle members standing next to you, eyes black.
I can't touch them, or else I'm going down too. Have I managed to like get wire exposed?
Give me a control or a strike.
I'm not good at those. All right. I'm gonna spend. Do you remember to have resistances? Because that's if I fail something, I can like be like, never mind, right?
Yeah, you can re-roll.
Reroll.
your case.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. This feels like it's important, so I'm gonna spend. Can I spend 2 drives at a time?
Yeah, you can spend as many drives as you want.
Let's go. We're spending 2. All right. You said control, correct?
Mm-hmm.
6. Let's go.
Yeah. 1 or 2.
Just 1.
Okay. Yeah, you take your knife out. The adrenaline is pumping in you real hard right now, and you slice through this giant wire, which you know should have taken more than 1 strike, but the moment and the panic is suffusing you. That panic means you do take a brain. But you get you pull it, and you now have this exposed wire. You are currently holding the casing, but you can see it sparking in
Cool.
front of you.
Can I just like kick the wire towards them so I don't have to get any closer?
I mean, they're right next to you. You can hold, so you're currently holding it, so you could just try to like, without touching them,
I'm just trying
but
yeah,
like
to
press
not get, yeah.
You could press it. If you, that's gonna be easier than trying to just like kick it to touch them. You can do either one, but it's going to be easier to just try and direct it onto one of them.
Okay.
And who are you doing first?
Emily. Yeah, I guess pick it up and try to touch it to them without touching them.
Yeah. You can give me a strike or control.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Okay. No, it's spending that last drive. Let's go.
If we've like maybe caught up with them at this point, I can help you.
No, the two of you are still down there covered in ink yourselves. You could tell me what you guys are doing, what you guys are trying to do. You and the doctor are still down there covered, like the ink is crawling up you guys right
Does
now.
it stop us from moving?
It doesn't stop you from moving, but you cannot help Emily. Sorry, you cannot help Sorsha in this moment because you are not with her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unfortunately. We will
God.
come back to you guys after we adjudicate this Sparky Spark.
Okay. If I use my resistance, do I have to take the roll?
Yes.
I would just be fishing for, because I rolled a 4, but if I take another brain or bleed, I'm out. I've got another scar. So it would just be fishing for a 6, and I don't know if that's worth it because this is
And you wouldn't get the additional drive on top of the reroll. You just get to roll the
That's
base.
true. Oh, yep. We're going with 4.
Give me 1 second. I need to roll 2d6 because it may change the outcome on this.
Ooh. I will take anything you got right now.
Ah, 2 1s. Never mind.
No.
Yeah, so you take this and you put it right over the heart. You're giving yourself the best chance to try and shock whatever is inside of her out of her. And you have enough wherewithal that you see the sparkling, crackling energy cross over her and cross across her eyes as the black bleeds out of her. However, you did just stab her with a live wire, and that crackling energy comes over you as well. You're gonna take a body.
I have leather gloves on. That's protection.
This is a giant live wire. If you've ever seen an electricity arc, that should leather gloves. This is,
Yeah.
maybe you're
valid.
not dead.
Cool. I think she just
is that a scar?
screams. Nope. You said it was body,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, it was a
We're
body.
chilling. I'm good.
So as you're screaming with
Yeah.
this electricity running through you, you notice that the electricity jumps, and it also hits James.
Oh, thank God.
And you
Chain
see
lightning.
the ink bleeding out from them, and their bodies drop like puppet strings. They're
Okay.
still unconscious, but you don't see the black in their eyes anymore.
Okay.
Quincy, Doctor, what are you guys doing?
So I'm gonna reach in and pull out like a little pipette or pipette of sand for like drawing runes and stuff. And in the air, I trace this rune, and it solidifies into really it's kind of like a cracker. And I'm gonna shove it in the doctor's mouth. You are warded. You get a +1d against move rolls or on move rolls against phenomena. And then I'm gonna try to push you out the door.
Oh, you're gonna try and push him? You have to give me a strike roll.
I mean, in the like, go out the door. You're muted.
Yeah, like I'm gonna help you. I'm not gonna resist him.
No, I'm staying here. Damn you.
I mean, yeah, you gave him a ward. The two of you still have ink crawling up
Yeah.
of you. So what are you guys doing?
I'm
Are
gonna
you
take,
pushing
that's-
him somebody moving, tell me what you're doing. Otherwise, this ink is just gonna keep crawling up you.
I'm gonna as I move, I'm going to give myself an injection and move up to where the others are.
Yeah. So give me a move roll. You get an extra dice for your worded.
5.
Yeah, so you start moving and you are climbing up this steep ladder as Sorsha basically electrifies Emily and James and herself, and this arcing energy comes down the ladder that you're climbing up because it's metal. And so you will take a body. However, you notice that the ink that was coming up you has kind of splattered lifeless to the ground.
I'm gonna continue upwards towards.
Yeah, you get up, you like, and then you get up there, and you see the two bodies of Emily and James on the ground, a shaking Sorsha.
Yeah, I think she's the fun thing about when you get electrocuted, you seize up and you don't let go of the thing that's electrocuting you. Learned that hard way when I was a child and touched an electrified horse fence. But
Yeah, no, it's bad. That's why you got people that watch you when you work on electrical things to
Right?
pull you away.
I think, yeah, so she's still holding the wire and through like gritted teeth is like, contain it! About the like ink that is falling around everywhere. Because it's only disabled, not dead.
But I'm just a doctor, so.
Yeah, but you are a doctor in Candela, and everybody in Candela knows how to use bleed containment vials.
I would also say Sorsha would definitely have one on her if you think you wouldn't.
No,
so
I
you
mean,
can hit her and
no,
take it.
that's not my
should-
concern.
You should
My
grab it
concern
off
is
the
not
electrified
having
girl.
the bleed containment vial. It's
My
having
concern
the
is the bodies.
control.
You know, fair.
And I'm a doctor. I think that what I would do is, yeah, I mean, I think that I would post Saoirse away from the electricity, so she's no longer getting shocked.
Yeah, give me a move roll.
Okie dokie. I got a 3.
Oh no.
Oh.
You try to pull her, like separate her from the live wire, but her hands almost reflexively, even though she's not being electrocuted anymore, just tighten on to the wire, and you feel this sense of panic, like you're not sure what to do. There's two bodies on the ground. They might be dead. They're not moving. She won't let go of the wire. You're just trying to help her. So you will take a brain in this moment as you try to separate her from the wire.
Okay.
And this panic just starts to take over you.
Okay.
Quincy, you're the only one in the entryway. There is more goop dropping from the doorway to the living room. There is an almost terrified, frozen in fear Declan across from you. You have goop on your face.
Is there too much goop on my face to scrape it off into the containment vial?
It's still moving. You have not been electrified.
Right. But like,
It has not been electrified.
is it like
yes,
all
there's too much.
contained or one connected into one? Gotcha.
Yeah, it's too much.
So I am going to back out of the door and look as delicious as possible and try to convince it to follow me up the stairs.
Sure, give me a sway roll.
Sway. Gonna go ahead and not mess this up.
Got this. I believe in you.
That's 4.
Still a success.
You start backing out of the doorway. You still have the ink from your ritual, but also the ink of the creature crawling across your face as you are speaking to it, essentially saying food this way in this gurgling, like liquidy kind of voice. And you're backing up and you can see the goop just dropping off of the top of that doorway, and it's shifting after you, and you're backing up, and you back up into the stairwell, the metal stairwell, and you step one foot up like you're backing up the stairwell, looking at the goop that's following you, and the goop on your face, your right eye starts to darken. You can't see anything out of your right eye as you take a body and a bleed.
That'll put me out.
No! It's you and me, Doc. Let's go.
The two of you, conscious at the top of this ladder well,
Oh, God.
see Quincy fall back and is laying on this ladder well as
Is he at least getting
ink
electrocuted?
crosses his face. No, you've pulled it away, so it's no longer like the end of it's sparking, but it's not like electrifying anything that's up there or touching anything to electrify it right now. And you see this big puddle of ink creeping closer, coming up to the feet of Quincy now.
Am I able to take the wire with me?
What are you trying to do? Explain to me what you want to do.
Run to the top of the ladder, yell at the thing to come for me, and as soon as it gets on the ladder, just electrocute it.
Yeah, so the ladder isn't very far from you because
Okay.
That's where, like, James is unconscious right at the top of the ladder,
Mhm.
and Emily is right next to him. So it's only like maybe 5 feet, if that, like, away for you to move to get to the like actual top of the ladder. So you could definitely try and pull this live wire and like touch it to the ladder. The ladder is connected to the platform that you guys are on.
Yeah. I think, yeah, so she's no longer, like, I think, like, got a hand on, like, part of the wire that isn't electrocuting her now. Is, like, still kind of on her knees, gonna turn to the doctor and be like, can I get a hand? I think I'm down a foot.
Yeah, I don't really have much to help you up with, though.
That's fine. I can walk, I can move. It's just, I'm going for drama now.
I'll offer her my body, right? Like I'm not like you climb up on me because I'm also out of it. So
I think she would accept the help up, but then kind of like take herself away from you and be like, "We need you to get to safety. If this doesn't work, we need one of us to be able to finish the job. And if it does work, we're gonna need you to take care of us."
Okay, I'll move away towards a non-metal area.
Give me a surveyor focus roll.
Okay,
I'll give you a drive.
I got it.
Saoirse will help you point.
Okay, I got 2 6s then.
Oh, yes, let's go.
Great. Yeah, not too far off. There is like kind of like a porch entryway to somebody or something, somebody's house, somebody's apartment, somebody's, I don't know, work that is not made of metal that you could step onto while she electrifies the metal.
Okay. Does it happen to be like a rubber glove shop by chance?
It does not happen to be a rubber glove shop.
All right.
However, you are fairly confident that you'll be firmly insulated / grounded from this electricity, and that you will not have any consequences standing in this area.
Yeah.
And you still have full visibility of what is happening.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so Saoirse will take the wire and limp her way down to the ladder, because a fun thing that only Carly and Dr. Hawthorne know is that I actually have 2 scars, one of which being every time I interact with bleed, my body continues to slowly disappear. And I have now lost a foot. So, yeah,
Like,
limp
can
to
you
the top.
still step on it, or is it?
So the character detail is that, because of the 2 bleed scars, starting from her fingers and toes, her body is slowly disappearing. The gloves and boots are reinforced in case things get progressively worse.
Oh no! That
So,
is awesome.
yeah, limps to the top of the ladder, and then like goes down really heavily on her knees and just starts yelling, getting like, I figure she's already pretty worked up considering, but just starts like screaming at the ink thing, just being like, "You got the rest of them, come get me! Finish your job!"
The ink is fully crawling over the top of, like a liquid ink just crawling over the top of Quincy right now.
Mhm.
And Quincy is laid back on the ladder, so it is connected to the ladder, and it is crawling over Quincy.
Okay.
You might notice there's a slight smile on my face, and in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, take that, book."
You can't come back if I'm dead. But yeah, I'll wait until it is every little bit of it is on the ladder,
Yeah.
and then
Inches from you now, because it's like
Yep.
spread apart.
yeah.
Yeah, give me I'm sorry, give me a striker control roll.
Carly, I don't have fingers. Stop asking me for this.
I'm sorry. I was not the one that put you in charge of the.
Oh god, I've used all of my drives, so I have to do it at disadvantage. All right. But everyone else is down, so they can't help me. Or actually, the doctor is, but not. But let's go.
But I also have no nerve drives to
Yeah.
give, so.
Tasha, don't Tasha yar me. Jesus Christ.
One.
I have that resistance. Could I reroll it?
Yeah.
So how does that work? Because I rolled it technically with disadvantage. The face was that I rolled a 6 and a 1. So
You roll at disadvantage again. Because you do a full reroll.
Cool. Come on, please. You can kill me, I just need to end this thing. 4.
So you bring, with the last like vestiges of your effort in this moment, you bring the live wire down on the piece of ink that is in front of you. This arc of lightning, of electricity, of energy goes up and down the ladder. The only person that can see what happens in this moment is the doctor, as the electricity suffuses the ladder and goes across almost the entire metal platform that extends out, breathing everything in this electricity. Sorsha, you are going to take 2 body. Everybody else that is on the ladder, so everybody except for the doctor, even if you are unconscious, are going to take a body as this lightning arcs through all of you. But
Guess
the
who's
doctor,
still up.
you notice the ink that was crawling up the ladder, that was over all of your friends. All the ink around has dropped and just looks like somebody dumped a barrel of ink across this entire area. And you understand and believe in this moment that you need to act quickly to gather up this phenomenon before it might reactivate.
Saoirse will throw the wire like over the side, just off of the bridge, so it's not touching it anymore, and then just take her bleed containment vial and drag herself to wherever, like, the stuff that she just electrocuted is to.
Most of it is right in front of you, like
Oh, sick. Okay, cool.
like all over Quincy. It's just all over Quincy.
Okay, yeah.
And like the ground underneath the ladder well.
Okay, cool.
It
means she has to get down the ladder, but that's a.
Yeah, between the doctor and Sorsha, you guys managed to gather up what you believe is every last bit of this ink, of this bleed that is here. And as you are gathering up the last bits of it, your other members of your circle start to stir. I would like the people that took scars. We're gonna go around and you're gonna tell us what your scars are and how your action stats changed as a result of your scar. We'll start in order of how you guys left the scene. So Emily, what is your scar that you received from this incident?
I think the ink permanently dyed her skin. So, like, if you've seen it in like video games when you get like the tear tattoos underneath, like the ink rolling down your cheeks, essentially.
Oh.
It was kind of
That's awesome.
permanently there. And I think I did this right. I moved a focus into survey.
Yeah, absolutely. James, what does your scar look like?
So James is going to take a body scar from this since he got one of each at the time. And so...
Well, actually, you'll take both of those, but you can explain the body scar first. You'll take 2 scars.
Okay. So I was at... It put me to 222 with the last one.
Sorry.
I thought when you got... Okay, go ahead.
When you went... when you got your scar, it only clears the marks for that applicable type of scar. It doesn't clear all of your marks.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't clear anything yet.
Okay.
So I was just... So when you get 4 marks, you get a scar no matter what, right?
No, it's 4. You have to have 4 marks in one specific type.
Then I didn't go down. Sorry. I thought it was just 4 total marks.
It's okay, it was good for the drama.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's 4. You have to have 4 marks of the same kind. When you would take the 4th mark of a type, that is when you take a scar of that type.
Okay. then yeah, I wouldn't have gone down. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought it was 4 marks total because maybe it's when you get 4 scars total you died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
It's 4 scars of any kind. Marks is you need to get 4 marks of a kind
Okay.
to get a scar of that kind.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Well, we will move
I
on
screwed up.
to Jeremy.
Well, so no, I'm also confused. So if you filled up 3 of them, you're still actually technically up. You needed a 4th one to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I played dead to try and distract it from everyone else, and it worked.
Well, you probably would have gone out because you would have gotten bleed marks.
Right. Yeah. So
that you didn't get because you were unconscious at
Right.
the time that it had taken over your body.
And that's
so just
the
take
one-
a bleed scar and tell me what it is.
Yeah, that's the one that would have scarred anyway. So essentially the book has been stained, and so it's like, to look at me you don't really notice anything, but my voice now is kind of wet and thicker than it used to be, and I'm moving. I feel like part of the sense that I had came from the book's presence, and so I'm gonna move sense to probably read, unless anyone has a better suggestion.
No, that's fine.
I could also see it going to sway, where it's more intimidating because your voice is always like.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Thanks.
But you managed to bring your companions to consciousness. You've gathered up all of the ink. And the sun barely starts cresting up high above you in the eaves. You can see the morning rays of light glistening off of the elaborate mansions high up above you as you guys gather yourselves to return to your chapter house and explain what happened and maybe investigate what the Eons were doing, how this got here. Were the Eons a part of it?
We should get Declan as well and bring him.
Yeah, God.
Yeah,
He's still
Declan
just
is
standing
literally
there.
just like in a terror coma. Like he is just kind of frozen in terror. He fully hasn't realized that the danger is gone. He's just, and when you guys go to get him, he just, like, as soon as one of you like touches him, like to comfort him, he just passes.
You know what, mood?
So
I don't
you
think
can
he was-
easily gather him to take him back to the chapter house
Okay.
and talk and
Put him in jail because he
Whatever.
just murdered everyone. No, just...
Right?
No.
You did this to me.
When I saw what was going on, it dawned on me. I don't think he was dropping the stuff. The stuff was following him and dropping it.
I think you're right.
yeah, you get the sense that due to its base nature as an ink stalker, it can suffuse in anything that has ink. So if he had a picture or anything on him, then the thing that tried to get into him but couldn't do what it wanted to hid in the ink until it had an opportunity to do what it wanted to.
Maybe I'm a simple guy. Maybe we run into it before we spray it with water, see if we can dilute it.
It's a good I mean, we should definitely plan for next time. just in case there's more
Hopefully
of
there
these.
won't be a next time.
Hopefully.
If I encounter another one of those things, it's going to be putting me in retirement.
We should probably leave the next one to the OUP.
I just write on my board. That bloody sucked.
That's the most I've heard you say. Over
Succinct.
there. Nice. Well,
And that will bring it. Yeah, that will bring this session for the circle of smoke and mirror to a close. As
I
they
wasn't sure
Drag their weary bodies back to their chapter house.
right?
I have 3 marks in every single category. Oh my god.
Somebody needs a stitch real bad.
Right?
I didn't get another scar though. I still have most of my body.
Here's a scary thought. What if it got into invisible ink?
Whoa.
Then you need
Lemon
one of
juice.
those flashlight. Yeah, lemon juice.
Yeah, you need blue lights.
Heat.
Oh god.
Need some heat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, I just want to say thank you all for coming tonight and playing this on the channel. It was super awesome to game with you all this evening. Jason, thank you for donating tonight. I'm pretty sure that your donation saved our butts pretty early in the game. Probably would have been a shorter game had that been the case. Why don't we do a round of introductions and we'll go from there. And let's go the other direction. Let's start with Carly. Why don't you tell us who you are, how to find you on the internet, and if you have anything coming up that you want to talk about.
Sure. Hi guys, I'm Carly. I play games and I do things and I do stuff. I'm here on Wanderer's Haven. We should be returning next month to
1 week.
Daggerheart.
Still this month.
Next week. I know, but isn't it? Is it, or is
It's
it
the
Is
31st.
it still May?
It
Oh,
is.
it is still May. We'll be playing some more Daggerheart, getting back to the consequences of a character death. So got that to look forward to. On Monday, I'll be playing in a one-shot for Hit Points Not Required on Twitch. There's also for charity. And you can find me at Carly Sagan all over the place. And I make dice, armadillo dice, so you can check me out.
Very cool dice. I have 3 sets sitting right here.
Yeah.
Nice. Jason, how about you?
Yeah, I'm Jason. Mostly catch me here or on my Twitch channel. I stream some games over there on occasion and just generally here to have some fun. And appreciate you putting up this fundraiser together. I think
Absolutely.
it's a good cause, so hopefully we can make some good money this weekend. And then I'll be playing some DDO on Sunday trying to raise some money here. And if we raise $2,000, I'll dye my hair. And people can...
Do they get to decide what color you're going to dye?
They'll get to decide.
Oh my god.
I
Oh,
like
wow.
this. I would jump on board with you, but
If I just hadn't just got my hair done, literally yesterday,
Ryan,
then maybe.
take one for the team.
Yeah, but I'll have some games to give away and some
Nice.
DDO point codes if you play DDO.
Very cool. And next, let's go up to Lauren.
Yeah. I'll be here again tomorrow doing the Star Trek game.
Nice.
Still raising money, so that'll be fun. In general, I'm mostly on Instagram. You can find me there, Lawrence_openworld, same as on here. So
Perfect. Alrighty, and next we have, I almost said Emily, Megan, who played Emily.
Yes. Yeah, you can find me at Megan's ID at pretty much every social media platform there is. I post on all of them. And then over at hqpsych.com or megansid.com.
Nice. And I also just posted a link if you're interested in reading Megan's book on tabletop role-playing therapy, which I definitely recommend. There's a link to it on Amazon over there. Check it out. Sweet.
And it's also an audiobook too.
Oh, is it
push
really?
hard for that.
Nice. Ryan, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ryan. I'm a crotchety old man and don't use social media, but I hope to see more y'all around soon. I will be playing more games on Wanderer's Haven.
Sweet. Excited to have you joining us for more things. I am Jeremy Hochhalter. You can find me here most of the time, or at WH Pubs on all the social medias. Join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Honey Heist, and then back again at 8 p.m. tomorrow night for Star Trek second edition, the new one that's coming out. Al Spader, one of the designers, is coming on to run a one shot for that. That's going to be awesome. And then on Sunday, we're going to wrap all of this up on this channel anyway, I almost called it Ghost Poop. Good Soup. Goose Poop Games made Good Soup, which we're going to play. That just scrambles my brain. Anyway, so yeah, come and enjoy the games for all of that, and please stop by the donation page and drop some whatever you can afford if you can, and if you can't, then make sure you're taking care of yourself, because this is all about mental health awareness, being mindful of not only other people but yourself as well. So everyone, have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you hopefully tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye, everybody.